Pedro Cat coming at you.
Alright. Let me say a few things about the A-sphere. First of all, it's where energies that are devoid of real consciousness are recycled into the energies of the universe, specifically those things existing on this planet Earth. It is easy for a person to end up here for the same reason that it is easier to swim downstream than it is to work against the current. Remember, only dead fish go with the flow. Why is this important? Physical manifestation occurring on this planet Earth resides within the A-sphere. It's what you think and feel at the ego level, as well as anything you gain or manifest through the astral plane, and any entities you speak to below Bria are all under this gravitational pull to the moon. That includes everything within Asaya and Yetzirah. To work with these lower vibrations without proper preparation is to circle a drain that is used to steal away your immortality. Carl Jung said that a tree that grows up to heaven must have roots to grow into hell. This is very true, and just like this is true, so does the old adage, as above, so below, play its role here. If you want to go down and direct and control the forces within the shadow, then you must have roots that grow into the divine light. So anything that is fully realized from the seat of regular consciousness to the vibration of matter itself is lost to this magnetic pull toward the moon. This place, those vibrations are being dragged toward, is sometimes referred to as the furnace. This is where things are burned clean and made completely new. Things that emerge from there emerge as the most basic forms of vibrations. Matter or energy without the spark of consciousness that once again begins its climb, like the first thing that came from the water onto the land, or the first cells to become complicated enough to seek out food. Let me start at the beginning. Gurdjieff talks about a magnetic center that can be developed within man. This can and should, according to his work, start very small. In fact, any little amount of mindfulness throughout the day starts to awaken the sleeping higher centers within the organism of man. This mindfulness can start with an awareness of the breath, but it should, with years of practice, become a clear picture of your present moment. One with detail that you can focus on while you stay in tune to the breath in perfect harmonic flow with the current of the present moment. We'll give the basics of this meditation and breath practice in another lecture. Before going any further, I want to offer a little introduction to the four worlds. Not the whole thing, just enough to understand how the A-sphere rests on the transference of energy moving up and down the tree of life. Asaya is the physical world. Don't mistake this for what you see and touch and sense with your organism. This is whatever is really there when you are not present to process it. Although it is something similar to what you must observe, it is different there, on its own, without any observer to translate its impressions into the world of Yetzirah. Yetzirah contains your thoughts and emotions, often referred to as the armies of God, or Had in the Czech. They carry out the directives of the higher consciousness. Or in a sleeping man, they kind of just follow along with the desires of the body. Also, within Yetzirah is Yesod. It is connected to your being through the solar plexus chakra. The word Yesod means foundation. Also sometimes referred to as the machinery of the universe. This is the seat of the animal soul, intimately connected to the ego consciousness and to the earth itself. This contains the astral plane and all the entities within it. For our purposes, this is the shadow that is cast by standing in the light. Just above all this is Bria. Within it are Geburah, Chesed, and Tifereth. Tifereth is sometimes referred to as the empty room for this reason. Let me explain. Almost no part of what is below Tifereth ever makes it back to this space, because it takes great effort to swim that far upstream. Most men live and die within the ego. Tifereth is a higher consciousness, the first thing on the tree that is not being pulled down toward the moon, but also the heart center within man that only has one tiny impulse of purpose to the true divine nature of itself. This is why it is empty. Almost nothing from below reaches it, and only the tiniest piece of anything above is planted there to be discovered. This empty room is that which will eventually be filled with the magnetic center I mentioned earlier. Once that is in place, there is a consciousness within you, different from that ego, will follow and reform your vibrational energy over many generations. In fact, what many people think our ancestors or spirit guides are really just the consciousness of others connected with their DNA sequence that have achieved the magnetic center before dying. Once the unconscious parts of themselves were recycled through the furnace into the ego you call I am, they easily attracted it back to the consciousness that goes on after death. It is important to go on to forming this magnetic center before becoming a medium, manifesting with the moon, or doing any low magic. If you practice low magic without what some call building the temple, you are damning yourself to total annihilation. Once you have this temple built, or an activated higher consciousness, then it is appropriate to go searching the lower realms for the key. With the temple and the key, then you are ready to start the KCHGA. But that is another story for another day.